This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Whether you're packing for a vacation or dressing for a wedding, Nordstrom has head-to-toe looks for wherever summer takes you. From swimwear and bold color to romantic florals and dresses that make an entrance, find the right style for every unforgettable moment. Shop new arrivals from brands you love like Farm Rio, Free People, Vince, Wait, and Stod. Plus free shipping and returns and styling help whenever you need it make it all so easy. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
Girl, winter is so last season. And now spring's got you looking at pictures of tank tops with hungry eyes. Your algorithm is feeding you cutoffs. You're thirsty for the sun on your shoulders. That perfect hang on the patio sundress. Those sandals you can wear all day and all night. And you've had enough of shopping from your couch. Done hoping it looks anything like the picture when you tear open that envelope? It's time for a little in-person spring treat. It's time for a trip to Ross. Work your magic.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Oh Right. Yeah. Just a quick warning on this one. We do get into some heavy topics. While poignant and interesting, they may trigger you. So please keep an eye out for the numbers at the bottom of our page and do reach out to somebody if you are triggered.
In this week's episode, we'll be discussing meditation, medication, emu farms, and it's all a little bit live, laugh, love.
Are now. Welcome back.
Welcome back to season 2 of
Oh Right, yeah.
Oh Right, yeah.
Good to see you all. How are you, Abby?
Yeah, good. Feeling footloose and fancy free.
I am as
the
well.
saying?
I'm feeling better. I'm absolutely shattered, but we're getting through.
A little bit overstimulated.
I'm sick of being shattered all the time. I'm sick of that being my answer. Like, you know, all the time when people ask me.
How are you? Tired?
Very tired.
Tired.
Do you mind when people say to you, you look tired?
No. No, I know how little sleep I've got.
No, it doesn't bother me either.
But it's also frequent that I get a very little amount of sleep, and I'm also sick of talking about how tired I am.
Yeah.
But like, do you think that like, you know, the age that we are and all that we've gone through, even just the two of us separately and together in the last 2 months, do you think that it's okay just pretend you're fine?
No.
Because I'm a very black and white person, and I couldn't just say to someone, yeah, I'm brilliant.
No, it's dangerous. And I actually think that, like...
But I'm sick of talking about it.
I'm sick of talking about it. Tired.
Where's the happy middle ground?
Well, I'm getting...
Where you're not pretending.
I am getting to happy middle. I mean, like, if it wasn't for the gallstones, the previous kind of 6-7 months, I was happy middle. I mean, I was doing well.
You were fucking flying it. You're at the gym at 6:30 in the morning, showing off.
And, like, you get normally tired. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, thank God I don't drink anymore, because that would have been the main reason I would have been tired.
Have you done on the couch halfway through an episode in the evening?
Yeah.
The drool.
Not recently, but like, you know, 100%. I mean, but like kids, just small kids, it's just exhausting. But I think saying you're fine all the time is toxic to society. And
but it's also toxic to yourself to roll your eyes every time you have to make small talk.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You should know that I'm tired. You know what my face looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Honestly, I was looking back at episodes, not that I watch myself regularly on the telly or anything like that. I was looking back at episodes, and there are plenty, I would say 70 to 80% of the recording sessions that we've done, I'm running on very, very little sleep. But I do have a nearly 3-year-old.
Well, yeah.
So that's kind of self-explanatory. But, you know, also like with the kind of, you know, turning 40 and everything like that, noticing your body change a little bit.
Yes, because you've done reels. These latest reels you've done, they might be a couple of weeks old now, but they're when you get to a certain age and you realise you get clumsier, you're feeling stuff on your face.
Big long hair.
Yeah, that's invisible.
Trying to round it up and turning it into an Olympic sport. Fly fishing. But yeah, like, oh God, but I know, and I don't like. There's a reason we don't have mirrors in our bathrooms yet. We just have the mirrors on the wardrobes.
Really? Oh no,
we don't have a mirror in our hallway, and I'm grateful for it, because when I watch back or watch a reel that you've put up of a little snippet, I'm like, shit, I look fucking tired.
Really?
And my mother, you know, your mother would have no fear in saying it to you.
Yeah.
I don't take offence to it, but my response to her is just like, look, I run a business, I do a podcast, and I have a child.
I don't. I actually.
And I don't feel like I have to stick up for myself.
No, it doesn't bother me when my personal trainer said it to me the other week. He's like, "Oh, you look wrecked, Laura," and
You look
like,
fucked, Laura.
I jokingly was like, "Haha, thanks," but it doesn't bother me because I'm like, oh, "Thank God, I don't need to explain myself. Yes, I'm fucking wrecked." Now, back in my drinking days, that was a different story. I didn't want anyone to know that I was wrecked.
God, you got so fucking offended, didn't you?
Oh, well, I didn't want anyone to know. No, I'd be like, I'm caught. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
really?
I would have had like because I would have been midweek drinking a lot as well, you know. So I would have had like perfume and
Did you
chewing
ever pretend that you weren't
gums
hungover?
Oh, all the time.
God, that's cringe, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's appalling. I mean, it just comes with the territory of me. One of the reasons I have to give up drinking because it did start to get a little bit secretive, and I would say that I'd had less than I did, and all that kind of thing. But actually, when you said about the mirrors thing. You know the way I was telling you before, when I get anxious or when I was very anxious back in the day, I would save up
How's my
time.
hair? Did I ruin it?
You kind of did a weird wing thing on the but it's fine.
Alfalfa?
Yeah, there.
Yeah, we can summon him.
But I'd save up time to go to the toilet. Do you remember I was telling you this? Like, so
Yeah.
and I wouldn't even need to go to the toilet. I would just want to get out of the room. So
And that's regular behaviour. That was a common occurrence.
It was common. And I mean, I'd still be a little bit like that. But one of the things I still get really freaked out about is like, is there something on my face? Have I food in my teeth? So I would go to the toilet way more regularly just to check. Because I'm like,
that's
in
kind
work
of more verging on
situations-
OCD, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm neurotic, I think. You know, like
And do you think it's gotten worse
with age?
Turning 40?
I think it's gotten better with age because I don't give as much of a shit. Like I'll do stories, makeup's running halfway down my face, and I would trust that people tell me. In fact, I'd regularly.
I would always tell you
in a new friendship or a
it
new
wouldn't
work
be on your
colleague.
face 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. I'd always say it, and I'd say it to like friends in work. I'd be like, "Oh, do I have stuff in my teeth?" Or I would tell them because I want to have that environment where like if I say or do something stupid, please fucking pull me up on it because so many people don't, and some people are scared
But you have
of it.
so many. But also, I would empathise as well. Associate my memories like that as well. You kind of want. Well, you kind of want to know because you always want to be demand to be shamed about it. To cop yourself on.
Like. Yeah. Like I mean, don't bring me through the ringer if I'm hungover. But like, I just.
Those friends. You were so drunk
Oh
last
my
night.
God! Yeah,
But you probably
Not friends
don't
anymore.
remember.
Not friends anymore. But like, I think going back to my postnatal depression would probably be the most anxious I've been. I remember the doctor sitting me down and doing a test on me, and it was 24 questions, and I was 23 out of 24 was rating highly anxious. I couldn't drive. I couldn't leave the house.
You couldn't drive?
I was too scared to drive.
Existential crisis or the world ending or having a crash or what?
Just imagine your high anxiety and multiply that by 100. And
fucking
I was just so scared all of the time, and I had intrusive thoughts all of the time when I was postnatal depression. Now, I'll go back in a bit to my childhood and all that kind of stuff, but postnatal depression I think was one of the main kind of really when I was old enough to know I should be doing better than this. Do you know what I mean? And postnatal depression, I was sitting 6 weeks. Lewin was 6 weeks old. I was in a meeting. I don't know if I've told you this story before or not. I was in a meeting and two mothers came in to talk about their business, and they wanted us to do. I was doing business development, so they wanted us to do a campaign thing for them. And one of them had brought their babies in, and I was 2 stone heavier, pale, extremely sleep deprived, probably a bit hungover because myself and Fergal had just started seeing each other and we were drinking, but just high postnatal depression and anxiety and not medicated. And I was sitting at the table and they started talking about parenting, and I was like, yeah, and then we started going into like, it's really, really hard, you know. And I started going, I probably went too far. I probably was like, yeah, then you fucking, you're worried you're going to kill the baby or something like that. And then their kind of mask, fixed back onto their face, and they said, yeah, but it's the best job you'll ever have, isn't it? And I could see the moment when they went from being real and genuine into this is what society expects of us, and it clobbered me.
You can push it out a little bit, but not too far.
It enraged me so much because I was like, it's people like this, and it's through no fault of their own. It's society saying that no, but it's actually great. Like let's not give out too much. That makes me feel worse about having the feelings I'm having, like about being really scared of my child, scared of breaking him, scared of doing wrong things. And I said, no, it's not the best job. Like I couldn't hold it in. I nearly cried. I was like, no, it's not the best job. I mean, jobs that I have currently, there's a fixed set of hours. I get to leave them. I get to come into them and I
get paid once a month.
I get paid exactly.
At the
I get
exact same
paid
time every
and
month.
I get people asking me politely for help or advice or whatever, and then thanking me on sign-offs, you know, and I get to call in sick to my job. So no, it's not. I mean, yes, it comes with its rewards, but this pressure that mothers put on themselves is just insane, and I don't know where it's coming from. And it's the same shit with the midwife stuff, and it's the same shit with the medical stuff with women. It's almost like we're all playing chicken with one another to see who is the one that's really going to be very honest here, and when can we get...
And it's a test, and then socially, if you feel like you're being too honest, you get like, you shit yourself about it when you go home. Yeah, and that's the weirdest thing ever to me. My brain just can't get beyond that, and that's why I just want to be fully present and fully myself, and not worrying about the what ifs that hasn't happened yet, because it's completely and entirely out of our control. Also, 100%. You shouldn't give a fuck about what fucking some randomer thinks about you. I
know, but it's so easy to say that when your mind is going. So when I had postnatal depression in the very first 6 months, I figured that's what it was, you know, but I didn't. I started taking CBD oil for that because I was actually too scared to go on
bottles of rescue remedy.
Genuinely, like, yeah. I was like,
fuck the dripper.
But he was like, he gave me Lexapro, a prescription for Lexapro, and he was like, here. And
did he give it to you willy-nilly?
And he gave me a couple of Xanax. Yeah. No, he did the testing on me, and he gave me some Xanax. And I was like, what's the Xanax for? And he was like, oh, well, you know, you'll get quite anxious going on to the Lexapro. And I was like, fuck that. I'm actually too anxious to be any more anxious than I am. It is dangerous at this point.
Yeah.
So I didn't go on Lexapro. I tried CBD oil and therapy for as long as I could, which was mortifying. It was just horrific. It was really scary. I just white knuckling it. But it was this feeling of, I remember one point standing in the corner of the kitchen, looking out. It was snowing at the time, looking out at the snow, and just standing there, I think for about an hour, crying. Just not knowing. I was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to turn. I don't know. It was just, and I would describe it as just terror the whole time, just being scared of. It wasn't like I didn't hate Lewin. I really did love Lewin. I was very relieved about that because I didn't know how I would feel about him when he came out, because I wasn't planning on having a baby.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on having a baby with Fergal. We didn't know each other as well as we should have, you know, in respect to our history and stuff. And
I wouldn't call it hate anyway. Call it a little bit of disdain.
Yes, yeah. And I struggled so much with that, but I did love Lewin. However, I was just petrified because he had the head thing.
But also, it's like you're trying to convince yourself of the good thing.
Oh, and God, it is.
That's really awful.
I always have this image of, like, with my mental health, of like running up a sand dune. You know, when you're running up a sand dune, you're getting really, really incrementally up the sand dune, but your feet keep slipping and it's really, really hard. That was what my mind was doing 24/7. I remember I was working with a friend at the time who I was close with, and his mother had him unplanned, and she was living in London at the time, and she had a terrible time. And Jamie said to me, here's my mum's number, call her if you're struggling. So I called this complete stranger who had never met, and I just was bawling down the phone to her, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And she said, all I did in London, it was in the 80s, I put him in the buggy and I would walk for hours. So that's what I did for the first kind of 3 or 4 months. When I was on a day off, I would just put Lewin in the buggy and I'd walk for 2, 3, 4 hours around Greystones, because I couldn't sit on my own. And then and of course then the drinking starts, you know. So for me, that was probably one of the scariest times. Obviously last year when I went into PATS, but I was a little bit more prepared for it then. Do you know what I mean? When I go right back to my anxiety, mine started when I was 19. When I look back, really, I was anxious my whole childhood. Like I was anxious my whole childhood. Like, I think I told you recently about being scared that the devil would come under the doors.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I was always panic attacky when I was a child. But
singing
I just
hymns in the bathrooms.
Singing hymns in the bathrooms.
God, that's fucking awful, isn't it?
But when I was 19, the wheels came off, or maybe slightly younger, the wheels came off. I just thought I was going mad. The word panic attack and anxiety was not really in our lexicon. No. I look at people like Jack, who's our producer today. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hi. And Jack, 24? 23. And like, you would have grown up with anxiety and panic attacks. You know what it is. It just wasn't
or you someone who's talked about it or experienced. Yeah.
You understand what it is, you know, like whether you've had it or not. But I grew up, I was 19 and no one had ever talked about this. So I just thought I was going fucking crazy. I remember I had smoked half a joint at one point in someone's house, and I ran the whole way home, which is like a 2 or 3 mile journey. I was just crying and I couldn't leave the house. I was prescribed, I've told this before, diazepam for that, a repeat prescription of diazepam for that. So that's how little anyone knew about.
Jeez, just like.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV. Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
The truth is out.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
With Plan B emergency contraception, we're in control of our future. It's backup birth control you take after unprotected sex that helps prevent pregnancy before it starts. It works by temporarily delaying ovulation, and it won't impact your future fertility. Plan B is available in all 50 U.S. states at all major retailers near you, with no ID, prescription, or age requirement needed. Together, we've got this. Follow Plan B on Insta at Plan B One Step to learn more. Use as directed.
I've had some very, very recent experiences of prescribed medications not working.
Let's talk about you for a bit.
Same as you, very early on. I just found out last weekend, actually, through my parents, that my anxiety started when I was 3 years old.
Ah, God, what?
I think it came with the death of my grandfather, my dad's dad. And with that, I started needing to sleep with them more and more, as in like I had just kind of settled in my own room, kept coming into them, but also really cute. I was such a cute kid. I would like open their eyelids just to let them know that I was there.
Oh, so
but they
cute.
set up a camp bed on the floor for me, so they could get their night's sleep, because obviously the waking wasn't working for them either. So they needed to figure out a way that I would feel safe, but be with them. I don't know how long it lasted, but I think my mum said that it started with the death of my granddad, and she thinks that I was scared that they were going to disappear. Or I was going to die.
Yeah.
So recently I got an ADHD diagnosis, and I scored severe on that. Who knew?
Severe.
I didn't. I'm only joking. It was very rewarding to find out a lot of people are like very emotional about what could have been, and about the confused child that never fit in.
What do you mean?
As in, like, it's a realisation that you're like, oh shit,
I know
this is what's wrong with me.
A lot of people are relieved when they get their diagnosis.
Yeah, and they go through this, like, grief.
Kicks in, yes.
Yeah, and loss of the little loss. I was just like, yeah, I've never got a first in anything. So I was like, yes, come on, everything makes sense now. Woo, go. So yeah, I got prescribed Tyvance. Hated it from the second day.
Tyvance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hated it from the second that I took it.
Why?
And I gave it 2 days. It made the symptoms a lot worse.
What symptoms? Like, explain that to someone who doesn't have ADHD.
Anxiety, raised heart rate. Basically like hyper focus, but very chaotic.
Okay.
So all of the bad symptoms of ADHD, it made worse.
Okay.
And then I went on to your man was like quite unhelpful, actually, the psychiatrist. He was like, he didn't explain any of the negative or the adverse reactions. And I talked to a guy recently who explained them very well. So I went on the second one, which is Concerta XL, and loved it. Called over to you and was loving it. I was like, this is really like, it seems so quiet in my brain. And there was quite an emotional moment where I was like, oh my God, is this the way it's supposed to feel? And then a week and a half in, I was like battling through exhaustion, like an hour and a half after taking it.
Okay, so it makes kind of drowsy, downer kind of vibe.
That can be if your dosage isn't right. So if you have too little of the milligrams or too much of the milligrams, it can go either way.
There's a lot of titration, isn't there?
Yeah, but also I talked to a better psychiatrist then, and he's told me that none of what I was feeling I should be feeling.
Okay.
So I was just like absolutely exhausted. It feels like my heart rate is up, but I could go to bed at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Very, very confusing. But for the first 4 days was amazing. Like, I got loads of shit done. I was emotional about the quietness in my mind, because obviously you're thinking about 2 million things all at one time, and it becomes really exhausting. And when you turn 40 and lose your mask, I think it's a coming of age thing as well. When you lose all your masking, and you're like, oh shit. And the person that you thought you were supposed to be for all of that time is no longer there, so you feel like you've been a fraud. It's very hard to explain.
What do you mean you lose your mask? I mean, do you shed it, or like, why do you turn 40 and lose your mask?
The things that you're so used to keeping in touch, like socially acceptable. Like I have stims, like socially acceptable stuff, like not doing that in front of people. Or
so when you turned 40, you decided to shed the mask. Is that what you're saying?
No. When you get older,
okay,
with What I'm finding
you
out
find
now.
it more difficult to mask.
Yes,
right.
so with perimenopause,
okay,
everything goes, and the more research I do about it, the more common things
Yes.
are all into place. ADHD, hyperly sensitive to medication, the massive allergic reaction to the IVF medication, that failing as well.
That's an ADHD thing.
All connected, right?
Wow.
So yeah, because you're more predisposed to being hypersensitive to anything that goes into your system.
That's why you're all allergic nerd. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, allergic
okay,
nerd.
yeah.
Allergic nerd. I love that. So the good psychiatrist was like, I have a funny feeling that you have MCAS,
Can you
which is
explain
like
that?
it's so we all have mast cells in our body, and they use mediators, and they have like they have thousands of mediators that go on in them to send signals to different parts of the body.
Is this like a neurological thing?
A neurological
Right,
thing.
okay.
So it's like a disease,
Okay.
basically. I don't think it's an autoimmune disease.
Okay.
I'm unsure. I haven't done enough research yet, but he's the second person to say it to me. And someone else was a woman that reached out through the podcast or Weird Watercolours to say that this is what I think you have, but you won't be told this by a GP.
So it's something neurological, and what's happening? They're misfiring. They're not.
There's too much of something, so the mediators are sending the wrong signals. So
Okay.
they're always on high alert, which would explain my massive allergic reactions to things and my adverse reactions to loads of medications and stuff.
Okay, so that comes out as a physical, like
It comes
medical.
out. So there's a whole list. It works. If I think the checklist is if you have these symptoms over 3 different bodily systems: neurological, physical, and I think it's topical or skin
Okay,
or whatever.
yeah, right.
There's these systems in the body. If you have them across 3, you're out of 5 or something like this.
Mm-hmm,
I can't remember the stats. Anyway, every single thing I read on the entire list that could have been was I had a lymph node removed.
Yeah.
I have arthritis in my knee. I have swelling of the joints. I have back pain. I have
you do.
cysts in my boobs.
Allergic nerd.
I have topical rashes
Yeah.
all of the time,
Yeah,
all the
you
way through
do,
my
yeah.
childhood. Anxiety, sleep disruptions.
So it does go into the head. Then it's
It's
not
neurological
just
as well.
God.
It works over so many systems. But he
And
was
is
like,
that to do with ADHD?
no, but you're more likely.
Yeah. Okay. You're
They're more likely
prone
to cross
yeah,
over.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck. And then it's basically like something that you have to manage, you can't cure. But
God.
one thing that I've realised that histamine-rich foods make it worse.
Yeah. So like wine or something. Or
So very simple solutions, which is amazing. Taking an antihistamine
Yeah.
every day, or
Yeah.
2 or 3, even though it only says 1, that your body can actually level itself off, and
Okay.
people have found huge benefit.
and that
I
would
haven't
help with
started anything
anxiety and
else.
stuff. Would
Yeah.
it? Wow.
Anxiety is one of the outcomes of having this, because it raises all your like adrenaline or whatever it is. So another one is histamine-rich foods are probably at about 99.9% of the foods that I love eating. So avocados, peanut butter,
Craft beer.
a beer,
Yeah.
like all of those
Yeah.
histamine hued.
Yeah.
And also a lot of histamine foods are really, really healthy for you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, rejigging my diet.
Yeah.
To figure out stuff that I like, because I mean, I'm not fussy with food at all, but I'm just like peanut butter is a lifesaver for me because it's full of energy, and also like maybe my cholesterol's high, I don't know, but like, you know what I mean, like all that, all kind of
That's
nice
fascinating.
stuff. But I only found this out last week, and it's not told to me by a doctor. It's told to me by a psychiatrist.
Yes.
Who
right.
is,
Wow.
he was just like, I am 99.9% sure this is what you have. Do some research. He said on the topic of the ADHD medication that I would like to try and be able to try for longer than a week without having an adverse reaction, which is so fucking annoying,
Yes.
because you think you found this
I
something.
know, and it takes
I also-
time and money to get this diagnosis.
on top of all this, I know this is a very long-winded conversation, but on top of all this, at the start, before I went down the ADHD medication, I tried HRT.
Oh yeah.
One progesterone tablet. I was having a panic attack in the middle of my sleep. It was like the worst intrusive thoughts I could ever imagine. I've never been so close to internally considering suicide.
Wow.
But it was more like a dream than it
Yeah.
was a thought that I wanted to do something. It was more like a what if scenario.
I know, yeah, you can't
But it just came into my brain for no reason at all. Sweating, shaking, raised blood pressure, and the consultant for the VHI Women's Clinic actually was like, "Yeah, we're going to take you off that." So I've tried HRT. I've tried 2 different types of ADHD meds. I've tried supplements, which I'm nearly on for long enough to tell.
Yeah,
But I'm
you have
also
good things to say about the
I'm also
supplements.
currently in my luteal phase, which makes
What
me
is
like
luteal phase? Because you keep saying this, and I actually don't know. Is it just when you're like 2
PMS,
weeks
the
in?
worst, the 2 weeks before your period. So
Okay.
your
Yeah,
worst
that's me now.
section of time
Yeah,
where your hormones are like crazy.
Yeah, that was me 2 days ago. I was anxious, or yesterday, anxious for no reason, just
So
violent
you just know
anxiety.
that the consciousness, the imbalance is unbelievable. Really snappy, really angry, really like just confrontational with Audrey.
I know
snappy,
exactly. Yeah,
just fucking like but
Freaked.
also the negative thoughts towards yourself.
your fight or flight is just
It's
so
just
high. I was
terrible.
actually, bizarrely enough, I was talking to my psychiatrist in St. Pat's actually, and we were talking about hormones. And this is small, if you want to hear the end of your story. But I was explaining the hormones, and she was like, yeah, sometimes it is. And it fucking infuriates me when doctors, healthcare professionals just say, that's just hormones. Just hormones. Do people have any fucking idea? And it's like, okay, put me in a carriage, send me on the most frightening fucking ghost train you can think of with chainsaw people chasing you. I'll know it's fake, but it doesn't stop my adrenaline going. It doesn't
No,
stop
and
me
it doesn't-
screaming and
I
shouting.
wouldn't be surprised if like they were like, two of my people that I was talking to, a GP and the consultant as well. I'd be surprised if it was Perry. But like, and I know that I'm
But
just
it's something. It doesn't matter. Don't give me
just give it-
perimenopause.
yeah, but
diagnosis.
give it a name so
There's
I can
something
Google
wrong with me. And
Give it a name so I can Google something, please.
100%. I was talking to someone today who was talking about, she went on HRT at 40, and I'm like, oh, like I really want to try it. But then, do you know what? It's this little fucking voice that comes into your head. Don't be hysterical, Laura. You're not 45 yet. But I am. Yesterday, I was just anxious for no reason. You know, thoughts of, oh God, I had a mental breakdown last year. Oh God, I have to go back to work on Tuesday. Oh God, all that was
lasts
coming
for
back.
12 days for me. Before every single period, that section of time is just, it's a palpable, it's a very
I'd be all over the place.
unbelievable difference. But you know, when you're going into that day, you
yeah.
could have been a completely Jekyll and Hyde kind of response.
Like
you
I'm
could have been
not
great
bad today.
the
I'm not
other
bad
day.
today. It was yesterday.
Yeah,
was
I
just
kind of leveled off.
particularly
Maybe
bad.
it's the exhaustion or the caffeine. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so all those diagnoses, all these failed attempts, but also the fact that a lot of this stuff that you or me had been prescribed is long working.
Yeah.
And you have to wait all that time, or sitting in the fact that you know with your medication as well that it'll get worse before it gets better.
That's the thing.
That is,
I was in hospital when I went on to mine.
Absolutely terrifying to know.
It's horrible.
That whatever low you were at when you went in
You're
there,
going to go lower.
You're going to go lower
No,
until you get better.
I gave the drinking, and I do want to just pause here and say, myself and Abby are not healthcare professionals. Please don't be taking advice from us. You're just listening to our experience, not our advice. However, I do think a lot of what
you
you
can still eat
said.
avocados and peanut butter if you
Go
want.
and Google, but do talk to a healthcare professional if you are considering getting a diagnosis for anything like that, obviously. But I look back on I would say my medication has absolutely saved my life. There's lots of people out there that would say medication's bullshit. Fuck that. I don't care. I mean, it's been a trifecta for me. Well, maybe 4-leaf clover. Spirituality and meditation for me would be a huge one. Then medication, huge. Meditation.
And also like,
and just not drinking. And
I had a conversation
therapy.
with someone about Big Pharma the other day, and I was a few pints in, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that. And she was just like, yeah, for all the bad that's come out of it. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't be here to this, you know what I mean, to tell the tale. And I was like, that's a really good point. But at the end of the day, they're selling people ideas that might not be even wrong with them.
It's absolutely horrendous. Like, don't get me started on Big Pharma. However,
it's too big an area to talk
it's
about.
Too big,
but
and
it's amazing that you can say that medication has saved your life, because I think that I would say it's one of the levers that have helped. Audrey
me.
would say the same, but she was also recently diagnosed with ADHD. And she now has a completely opposing opinion. It's because she was treated for depression when she wasn't depressed.
Yes,
it was because she was treated for anxiety when she wasn't anxious.
Yeah.
Her brain just worked differently, and nothing in her environment was helping that.
That's horrendous.
But there was a point where she was just like, this has gotten me out of bed. This has gotten me back to the gym. This has gotten me appreciating nature more.
But I think, and we learned this in hospital last year, like when I was in the mental hospital, we learned that it's not it's not going to be one thing. It is this holistic. When you go in, you go to the doctor and you go, I've got a pain in my knee, and they could say like, okay, you just like, okay, just give me a pill for it. But they go, okay, physio and then diet, and you're like, oh, it's big holistic, but it is actually overhaul for me. It was, and now my life had ground to a halt when I had my mental breakdown last year, and it was like, how are we going to fix this? It wasn't just medication. It was finding the right medication and finding the right level of sleep I need, and what's my diet going to be like, and then when you look, and then how much exercise do I need for my body to be happy. Then you look at the spiritual side. Okay, so do you want to like what all the spiritual stuff, meditation, mindfulness, all those kind of things. Then therapy. Are you going to see therapy, and then your work life, your home life. So you need to look at everything. However, when we're talking about medication specifically, I'm on venlafaxine, and it leaves your system very, very fast. So unlike Lexapro, which
so do you notice it hugely if you don't take it?
Hugely. So I think I've said this to you before, but just for our listeners, it's like there's one called an SSNI, one called an SSRI. I'm going to get it wrong, but this one in particular leaves your system on a 24-hour basis very, very quickly. So you need to take it in and around pretty much the exact same time every day. When I have forgotten to take it, after about 3 or 4 hours, I start getting brain zaps. And brain zaps are like kind of like when you have a fever and when you move and you have this like electric shock to the brain, and so you got like when you move your head you get brain zaps, and then sensory overload, so everything is super bright, everything is really loud. I just we were down in the cinema and I just had to like sit in the car, put my hood up, close my eyes, literally block my ears, and I was just like until I got the medication. So all that nastiness comes with it. However, I do find when I'm in a situation that would lurch me, the lurch doesn't come. I can feel, the thought might start. It'll have a little intrusive thought start, like, what happens if the kids? It starts, and then sort of a salve goes down, and I won't get to that point.
Have you ever felt emotional numbing? What they refer to as when you're on, is it SSRI?
Lexapro. So weirdly with Lexapro, so I know of people who became more suicidal on Lexapro.
Jesus
So
Christ,
I started Lexapro.
And it only creeps in.
I don't have to imagine. This is exactly what happened. So I was,
oh my God,
working beyond control the year before last, working out of control
while on Lexapro.
No, so at the beginning of the year, working way too much, like just insane amounts, burning myself out, hadn't dealt with loads of my demons, anxiety through the roof, drinking to calm the anxiety, other maladaptive behaviours coming in. So I went on Lexapro. And the Lexapro, I found instantly, I was like, I just don't, it was much stronger than the venlafaxine, and I just didn't, you just felt calm all the time. However, what I said to my sister, I was talking to my sister about it, I was like, I have found I'm drinking more on Lexapro. And she was like, I know what you mean. And I said, I actually just didn't give as much of a shit. There was this sort of internal
dampening.
Yeah, like you're
Hey, I just Venmo'd you for rent.
Nice. Now I can instantly spend it whether I'm checking out online with Venmo or using a Venmo debit card.
Say more.
More exactly. Because the more you do with Venmo, the more you get. Like earning up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on a bundle of brands.
So, order more pizza.
The math demands it.
Get the Venmo debit card.
Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. Venmo checkout not available at all merchants. Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.
Protector, your internal preservation is no longer there. It's like, fuck it. It's a major fuck it feeling I had all the time. So I didn't care about drinking more. I actually would have more than I would have had because I didn't give a shit. And I was very, very sweaty. I was very, very. Now, I'm not now saying Lexapro, but for me it didn't work. And then it made a lot of my other maladaptive behaviours come to the fore a lot more. So I have a history since I was 16 of struggling with self-harming. And that would be blade to the skin. This conversation is really triggering, so we're obviously going to put a lot of helplines up there. It's not something people should really reach out to me on because I'm not a professional on it. But self-harming would be blade to skin, and that got extremely reckless. And it's been something I've been struggling with hugely my whole life. It's really fucking embarrassing. It's an embarrassing thing to suffer from because it's like weird emo teenager thing. Do you know what I mean?
Can I ask you a personal
Absolutely,
question?
Yeah.
Is it like the thrill of being on the cusp?
No. I can't explain it. There is definitely an adrenaline piece
I'm
in it.
trying to imagine, like...
I think it started in my teenage years as probably a cry for help. I fucking hate when people say that to me now. I'm like, I'm 41, I have 2 kids. To think for a second that's my form of cry for help. It's not. It's somebody, my therapist said, it's you needing to feel heard. Yes, possibly. I am such high energy all the time, and when my psyche is in desperate need for help, that's when it usually happens. It's like my anxiety's risen, my depression has risen, my self-worth is at an all-time low, I'm possibly drinking more. This is back then.
And was there a kick in, or was there a regularity to it?
Yeah, so it would be when times are getting tougher and I'm more tired, usually when I was drinking, not always, and there was a feeling of I need to do something to get me out of my head. As in, get my thoughts outside of my head.
And would you put aside time to do it?
Yeah. So I would know where the thing is that I can use, like whether it's a knife or whatever, and then I would go and do it. And it was instant relief when it happened. So it's almost like I'm taking the pain out of my head that's happening in here. So I'm in agony, mental pain and terror, and it's going out and it's happening. I'm externalising that pain and I'm seeing it there, and that's the relief of just getting it out of my head. Then I see that cut or whatever, the scar, healing. But as a result, I'm covered in scars now. As a result, it's always something I'm really, really, really
scared of. And did the blood represent?
Yeah, totally. There is a weird relief. Some people say try and they have go and hold ice cubes, pull elastic bands on your thing. For me, I've discovered, I went back into hospital the second time last year because this issue had risen up again, and I wasn't drinking or anything. I found I really loved art. Watercolours, you might have heard of them. And I started watercolouring, and my art therapist at the time, fucking love art therapy by the way, she was like, why don't you just get a journal that every time you're feeling these thoughts you do it? And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because I'm externalising. I used to write a lot of poetry, and now I'm like, I'm a little cringe, but just to externalise.
And so on a mat.
So now, like, I would like really cringy stuff, like dark images on the page, or even if it's just a flower, or it could be like, it could literally be drawing a scar on the page that's bleeding, which sounds, sorry, this is also triggering for everybody, but that really helps.
I have another question?
Yeah.
Would that relief and that exercise be kind of matching?
No,
because because you don't drink anymore either.
Yeah,
there's unmatchable.
Yeah, there is unmatchable highs that you don't get, but you get an all-time. You get an all-time level.
But the high is the worst thing in the world.
The high because you're going to get that low.
God, that's really hardcore to think about, isn't it?
So the thing about the trouble about self-harming, obviously loads of trouble, but the really dangerous thing is it can be very dangerous, and it can lead then to how far can I push this? And when I was on Lexapro, didn't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? That's where it went from something that I was very embarrassed.
You were taking something to actually
enable
do the other thing.
Enable me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of was one of the huge bits that I
And how long were you taking before you realised?
Lexapro.
Yeah.
I was still on it in the hospital, and it took me off it. So about 4 months.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it was a living hell. It was a living hell. Now that it wasn't like.
Did you know it was that?
I had a sneaking suspicion, but I also knew that got rid of any anxiety, so I couldn't come off it. Do you know what I mean? So look, I just, for me, and very relieving to talk about the self-harming, to be honest, because it's something I'm so fucking ashamed of. Like, it's just like, how
why do you think that it's shameful?
It's really embarrassing. Like, it's really embarrassing that that's something a 40-year-old woman has a go to do. It's like, I think everyone has their thing.
It shouldn't be embarrassing because, like, in a way that, it's a personal thing.
But it's just how it's any of these maladaptive behaviours we have deep shame in, and I am sharing it today because I'm hoping that if anyone is suffering with something like this, that they have the courage to speak out about it and ask for help. I'm not saying go and talk to everyone about it.
Do you think that talking it in that kind of way was cathartic? Like,
totally, yeah. I can't believe I just talked about it. Like, I've never...
just even admitting it and talking it about it so
and
plainly as well.
There was something about being in the hospital and just having my sleeves rolled up, and you'd be talking to someone else and you'd notice they're a self-harmer as well, and there was something so weirdly beautiful about that, to be just, oh God, it's so good to just... People know, they get it, they don't care, I don't explain myself.
Because it's a story, isn't it?
It is a story, but it's just when we are in the depths of our difficulty, like you were as a child, like you were in your teenage years. Isolation was nearly the death of you then. And do you know what I mean? You're going on this journey now with your medication, and it's tough. But the more we hear people sharing about these problems and maladaptive behaviours and how they overcame them. I haven't self-harmed in over a year. It's like, it's not something that even crosses my mind. You know, at the end of the day, it hasn't crossed my mind. I'm like, fucking brilliant, that's great. It's a great thing to be aware of. Still something I carry. It's still something I'm ashamed of, and it's still something I'm scared of, that I let things get that bad. However, the fact that I can talk about it here shows some fucking healing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and do you know as well, like, I just think that even with this new diagnosis that hasn't been proven, or like, you know, a partial diagnosis or opinionated diagnosis, it's like, and then I wonder about there being a direct answer to any of it.
Yeah, it does seem
and do you know what a therapist said to me as well? She was a holistic therapist. She was really good. She was really, really good. Like, but eye-opening, kind of soft opinions, what I didn't think I needed at the time. She was like, but what's wrong without having any purpose to our existence apart from to exist? And I was just like,
say that again?
She was like, what's wrong with living our lives
without needing a purpose?
Without needing a purpose. And that was so freeing to me. And I kind of keep coming back to that, and not like, also not sweating the small stuff is big in the front of my mind just recently, obviously. But like, that search, because we were all searching for something better. We were all searching for something that wasn't us.
We're always chasing or running away. Like, we're never.
Well, I wonder what would it feel like to
that's
give
funny.
up that for a tiny fraction of a second.
I'm the total opposite. I need a purpose. Like, we were actually talking about this when we didn't get the podcast recorded the other day.
Yeah, don't tell anyone about that.
Yeah. Well, when we oh my God, we've done
huge fuck up.
We were like, oh my God, there was no audio on the files, and I said to Abby, oh, look, I think there's a reason in that. Maybe those episodes weren't going to be good. There was going to be something, harmful in them.
And I was like, stop that.
And you were like, shut the fuck up. There's no reason anything. We made a fuck up and we'll make it better. But I need a reason.
You need that.
I need a reason. I need purpose. I need drive. I need
Why do you think
answers.
you need that?
It's just who I am. That is, like, I think that goes to the very core of my person. Drives me, and it makes me feel safe as well, in the knowledge that when I'm driving a certain direction, when I'm walking, and when I'm doing something like this, for me, like, we had the major fuck up, it calmed me to go, nope, there's a reason for that. Like, that's what I need. And it's interesting to hear you come from the total other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, and Audrey, like, it would be like you as well.
Yeah.
She does like, oh, it's a sign.
But Fergal was like you. Fergal will be like, no, it's a sign.
Yeah. Like, anything related to anything in any kind of small or unusual or coincidental way, she was like, it has to be a sign. It's driven our decisions as a family a lot of the time, and I think that's a beautiful thing, whether I believe it wholeheartedly or not.
But when we started the podcast together, and we started to get good news after good news after, and we're still getting really good news, and it's
don't tell anyone.
No,
it's a secret.
No, it's a secret. But we're getting some really good, cool stuff happening. And I said to you about the no-y feeling, and it's like a no-y. Myself and my sister have this thing where, like, you go for a job interview or you meet someone new and you have a no-y feeling. Like, for me, it's even in work when I'm working on a campaign, I have a no-y feeling. I just know this is going to click into place. Things start happening organically. You follow the little kind of stepping stones into the relationship.
So there is a need for it.
Yeah, because you follow that intuition. If something is giving me resistance in life and it's difficult, drop the tools and go back to square one. But if something is kind of like me and you, our friendship was easy. Doing the podcast wasn't a force. I didn't go out and go, I need to do a podcast. It just made complete sense for us to do it, and therefore it works. And so everything is sort of, that's a no-y feeling for me, and that's a spiritual piece for me,
Yeah, I'm really like, I can be very existential. I can be very philosophical. I can follow some conspiracy shit as well for the laugh. But I just think that I don't take any of it too seriously unless it's a selfish thing.
Yeah.
Do you know? And that's like,
I don't know, you're very oxymoronic, because you do flail from...
I 100% agree. Yeah. And I do flail from one side to the other, the Jekyll Hyde effect.
Yeah.
I will deeply care about something that I couldn't have given a fuck about the week before.
Yeah. But you're very open-minded. I think, like, when I talk to you about things that we have very opposing opinions on, whatever that might be.
Oxymoronic addition to that is the knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if I'm very open-minded but I have knee-jerk reactions, it means that I haven't preconceived that there's any other opinion out there.
I just don't think I can be very straight with you about things. You've rang me looking for advice for things, and I can be like, look, I need to give it to you straight here. Have you thought about this aspect of it? And you can be like, well, yeah, like you are quite. You're not defensive and stubborn, even though, and then sometimes you are. Like
that's because you're not. Like, I am defensive and stubborn. Like,
but then you're
would
not
tell
with
you
me, like.
exactly the opposite.
I know I don't know. It is weird, but like, yeah. So I think just
maybe it depends who you're receiving it from.
Maybe, yeah, maybe there's like with Fergal, my heckles will get whatever heckles, huckles, what is it called? Your heckles will rise. Like I'm like, oh, fucking defensive. Or you see it with Danielle when Dan's in the studio and she says,
your interactions are fucking hilarious.
Do you know what I mean? So and like we talked about this before, like your siblings can really get a rise out of you. But sorry, we're digressing. To go back to the mental health piece, look, I'm on a journey and I'm still on it, and it's been one for my whole life. And interestingly, someone said something very fascinating yesterday, and I felt so relieved. He was sharing a story with me, and he said he had spent the first 40 years of his life just a horrible person, being the worst version of himself. He said he was drinking, he was stealing, he was in prison, and he was like, I was an awful person. And then he kind of found redemption, and after something horrible happened, he kind of decided to pivot his life, and he's given up drinking now. And he's amazing story. And somebody had said to him, you don't need to be defined by your past. What do you think about that? And I could hear myself in my head going, please let him have a positive answer to this, because I have been struggling so much with so much stuff has happened in my past, so much stuff I have done, so much stuff has done around me, done to me, that I'm just really struggling with how do I break free from all of these anxieties and depressions and self-harm and all this shit and become a better version of myself, because or am I always carrying the shit around on my back? And then he said, I'm still me, but I want to become the best version of me. And so therefore I'm no longer defined by my past. And I just felt such liberation. I was like, fuck, yes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that like a trigger, like a familial trigger, or like a little, the heckles on your back moment is the past knocking on your shoulder, and it's how you deal with it in the moment. I always find that in that moment there is a choice. Not an easy one sometimes, but there will always be a choice for you to either stand back from it and not let it take over, or completely ruin a situation.
We talked about this previously. I left a therapist after the first session because she said to me, I was pregnant at the time.
Too crazy, bye.
No. I was in dire straits at the time. I was pregnant with Lou, and everything was tough. And she said, do you know, Laura, we can get up in the morning and we can choose to have positive thoughts. I was just like, what the fuck? How are you in this profession if that's what you think? So no, I don't think we can choose to have positive thoughts. I think we can control our environment so that if I'm feeling anxious, I can't deal with this, we can control our environment, say things to the right people,
so you
ask
disagree
for
with
help.
what I said about the in the moment?
No, I'm building I think
okay.
But in the moment that choice would be, okay, I'm getting pissed off, remove myself from this situation, keep that person at arm's length.
And these are none of the things that we ever applied in the moment.
I do it now, though, maybe I won't drink anymore, or whatever it is. We have those, so make those decisions, because these are not my words, how we think today forms who we are tomorrow. And I know it's a kind of a live, laugh, love, but I think it's really poignant, because if I think I'm fucked, I've lost at life, I have drowned under this anxiety, the alcoholism, whatever that might be. But if I think, no, today I'm struggling, but I know I'll wake up tomorrow, and at least there's that. Just something, something being nice to myself, and maybe then tomorrow I've told myself that's it, therefore it'll perpetuate. So that's kind of how I feel. That's just
I believe in that. It's like kind of like, for want of manifestation, for want of a better description.
Kind of manifestation, yeah.
But
it's not going. Just think about all the. When you're miserable or anxious, and someone, but you have a partner, you have a house, you have a child. And
wouldn't it be great if there's nothing going on in your head ever?
I hate. When
imagine if it was just the president. Imagine if it was just always being in the present.
I know. Well, that's why.
Wouldn't that be fucking amazing?
I do go back to, like, yesterday. I was like, day at a time. For me, yesterday I was thinking I'd love a glass of wine. I was thinking I would love just not to have. Because
do you regularly think about alcohol?
No, not really. No, it just when I'm particularly anxious, or like Fergal was going out with his mates. Oh, I just tell myself it'll pass. I might pick up the phone and call a friend who's sober as well. Like I wouldn't, but my last 15 months has taught me that it'll pass. You know, you just you'll go past the moment.
You've got to be patient with the moment.
5 minutes, 5 seconds, it goes. But yesterday I was just so horribly anxious the whole time that I had to kind of really revert to when I was feeling bad in the hospital, and it would be 15-minute slots. Like literally, okay, so for the next 15 minutes, the kids are going to watch this and I'm going to look at my phone.
Yeah, and I'm not going to have FOMO about Fergal going out.
It was really, totally. Yeah. Or I'm not going to, not even telling myself I'm not going to do. I'm just like, what am I going to do for the next 15 minutes? And then, okay, in the next 15 minutes, then I'm going to just do a bit of meditation or whatever it is. So today I haven't been living 15 minutes by 15 minutes. I've been living in the day. That's the most manageable thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for you with your diagnosis, because you've got such...
I don't feel like there's anything amazing out of it.
But day by day, you are learning loads.
Maybe this random diagnosis, but like I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Like, what do I do? Like, how much better can I feel?
Antihistamines.
Like, okay, so this is an interesting conundrum I have. I am doing the best I ever have with relationships and figuring it out and therapy. I'm now a mom who. Obviously, I do my best every single day to be the best parent ever for him. I have a successful business. I'm doing a podcast. We've got really exciting things coming up that I can't tell you about. Like, how much better can better get? If better is this best with the tiredness, I'm willing to settle. Like, what the fuck do I do with all of this now? I'm just like, for fuck's sake, I don't like the way the uppers make me feel. Some people fucking love it.
So I have kind of an answer to you, and it's something that my friends say. They talk about live a life beyond your wildest dreams, and we talked about this previously by talking about what success is. I feel that life beyond my wildest dreams is one where nothing outside matters and it's just contentment in my head, and I'm getting that.
And maybe
slowly.
Owning an emu farm,
and or getting a bush baby as a pet.
Riding like a kangaroo.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I think there's loads of things, and I'm trying to bring it in every day to being. It's not about the things; it's about me in my head. And once I can get through,
you also in the same regard talked about martyring. You also said life's too fucking short. Stop making this. Stop. Like also there was another conversation I think in a previous episode where you're like, just take the meds, because you know what, you're suffering right now in the now.
That's what I mean. Like so how do you attain the closest you can to peace and contentment? And is that changing your job? Is that talking to the person?
It's getting rid of the ADHD, probably.
Fine. So that's your journey, right?
Killing it
off. Yeah, well, channeling it, I'd say, because you've got some good stuff. But look, no answer there for anyone. But just
sorry, now
stay mentally sane, everybody. And I do need to be very clear, that was an extremely triggering episode for probably lots of listeners. So if you do need to talk to a healthcare professional or a therapist or a close friend, please do reach out and.
But a little bit of mental is good, isn't it?
A little good mad. My friend calls it good mad.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, stay good mad.
Stay safe, kids.
Bye.
Don't do drugs.